In a world that moves fast, sometimes too fast, there is something rebellious about stillness, about choosing to pause, to sit, to breathe, to listen. To be wild is not to be reckless. It is to be deeply in tune. It is the whisper inside you that knows, the voice that calls you back to the things that matter, to ritual, to reverence, and to remembering. Clarissa Pinkola Estés, in Women Who Run with the Wolves, speaks of the wild woman, the wise one within all of us. She is instinct, she is deep knowing, and I have found her in the stillness of tea. When I sit with tea, I sit with her. The wild woman does not shout. She does not demand. She waits. And in the quiet, if we listen, she speaks. Tea is more than just a drink. It is a return and a homecoming. The world tells us to keep moving, to keep producing, to keep proving. But she, the wild woman, tells us to stop, to be, and to steep in the moment. If you have been feeling lost, if you have been feeling disconnected from the deeper parts of yourself, maybe it is time to be still, to sit with tea, and to sit with her. Because she's always waiting for you. There was a time when we knew, when we ran with the wolves, when we spoke the language of the earth, when we listened, not with our ears, but with our bones. But the world teaches us to forget and to tame ourselves, to quiet the wild woman within. Stillness is the most radical thing we can offer ourselves, because in the stillness, we remember. There is a story Clarissa Pinkola Estés tells, a story about an old woman who lives in the desert. She is called La Loba, the wolf woman. La Loba spends her days collecting bones, the remains of things long forgotten. She searches, she gathers, she sings over them. And when she sings, those bones begin to rise. They form into a wolf, flesh returns to them, and when she sings her final note, the wolf takes off running, disappearing into the horizon, transformed and alive. This is the work of the wild woman. She gathers the lost parts of herself, sings over them, and brings them back to life. And isn't that what we do when we take a moment to steep in something real? When we sit with tea, when we let stillness work on us, we too are gathering bones. Many of us have spent years abandoning ourselves, trimming our edges, making ourselves small, trying to fit. But the wild woman does not fit. She does not seek approval. She only seeks truth. Tea is one of the ways I call myself back. In the stillness, I listen. I hear the parts of me I've buried, the parts of me that are still alive and waiting. The wild woman lives in all of us, and she's not far. She's just waiting for us to stop running and to sit and to finally listen. There's another story, the story of the seal woman. She comes from the sea, but she is tricked into staying on land when a man steals her sealskin. Without it, she forgets who she is. She lives among humans, but she's always aching, always longing for something she can't name, until one day she finds her sealskin hidden away, and the moment she touches it, she remembers, and she returns to the sea, to herself. How many of us are living without our sealskin? How many of us have forgotten who we were before the world told us who to be? Every time we create space for stillness, for presence, and for ritual, we are reclaiming our sealskin, and we are returning home. The wild woman is never gone. She's always waiting, in the spaces between the moments, in the quiet, and in the ritual of tea. So take a moment, sit in the stillness, and listen. She's speaking.